Hey fight fans, welcome back to Heavy Jabs. Before we dive into today's seismic heavyweight showdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more punchy insights. It's the only action you'll take today that won't leave you with a black eye. Today, we're dissecting the brutal, beautiful, and perhaps beautifully brutal matchup everyone's buzzing about. Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte, set for August 16th in Riyadh. You heard Whyte, Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte, the man who's survived more boxing plot twists than a daytime soap opera, is about to throw leather with Moses Itauma, the undefeated phenom who's made the future of heavyweight boxing sound less like hyperbole and more like a pending apocalypse for anyone who steps in with him. Now I know what you're thinking, Dillian Whyte, the man, the myth, the uppercut enthusiast, with more comebacks than Rocky sequels, staring down the barrel of Itauma's freakish youth and ferocity. Does Dillian have a shot, or is this just the latest episode in a long-running series called Rising Stars Use Aging Warriors as Stepping Stones? Well, settle in, because we're about to break down the brains behind the brawn, the game plans, the totally unbiased satirical predictions, and whether Whyte can snatch, not bodies, but the last laugh from the jaws of boxing's wildest youthquake. First, let's paint the scene. Moses Itauma isn't just undefeated. He's unflustered, unhurried, and on his best nights, seemingly unattainable in the ring. The Southpaw sensation from Slovakia, via the UK, moves like he's got grease on his shoes and a GPS in his brain, weaving in and out with the kind of technical precision that gives boxing purists spontaneous nosebleeds. This kid blends iron-fisted power and a chill composure you usually only see from people who left the stove on but genuinely don't care. His hands move like he's trying to finish the fight before the buffet closes, and his ring IQ, well, let's just say this guy's doing calculus out there, and his opponents are stuck on long division. Meanwhile, Dillian Whyte isn't exactly rolling in on a mobility scooter. His record is stacked, and despite a few stumbles and a couple of savage defeats, don't say uppercut around this man unless you're feeling mischievous. He remains a brawler with experience, grit, and let's face it, a stubborn refusal to leave the main stage. Whyte's approach is all about violence, smart violence, mind you. He's a veteran of rough and tumble scraps, wielding a jab, a left hook, and a healthy appreciation for boxing's dirty work, clinching, leaning, going to the body like a man possessed. So can Dillian Whyte upset the boxing apple cart and hand Moses Itauma his first professional defeat? On paper, where physics, not fairy tales, often reign, the odds look tall. Itauma is not only younger and faster, he's developing an aura, the sense that he's not just beating opponents, he's erasing them from the collective memory of the sport. However, boxing is not fought on paper, it's fought in the trenches, in the sweat-drenched corners, where legends are both made and unmade. Dillian Whyte, if he's to stand a chance, will need to deploy every trick, every ounce of ring craft, and yes, probably every ounce of cunning in his weathered arsenal. Let's talk strategy. Dillian Whyte's blueprint should read less like a standard playbook and more like the diary of a wily veteran who spent too long in the company of street magicians. If Whyte wants to win, he can't outdance Itauma, and he won't outjab him either. Not unless Moses suffers the world's worst case of arm cramps. Instead, Whyte has to turn this into a fight Moses has never seen, a dirty infighting brawl fought in the phone booth, where experience, not raw athleticism, wins rounds. Whyte needs to step inside Itauma's reach, anchor his jab, and work the body like he's making mojitos. Every time Itauma tries to pivot away, Whyte's job is to mash that advantage with roughhouse clinches, sneaky uppercuts, and good old-fashioned ring bullying. Remember, Whyte's never shied away from the darker arts of the sweet science, rabbit punches, leaning, a little friendly forearm. If ever there's a time to use every page in his controversial playbook, it's against a phenom whose confidence might just be his undoing. But here's where the brain games get Olympic. Itauma is no naive neophyte. He's got the feints of a master, the patience of a chess grandmaster, and crucially, a radar for incoming aggression. Whyte's wild swings may look menacing, but to Itauma, they're live opportunities. The young lion is adept at counterpunching, and he'll be looking for Whyte to overcommit, creating windows for devastating lefts down the pipe and chopping right hooks, the kind that turn brawlers into believers. Itauma's defensive movement, even as a heavyweight, is borderline supernatural. He slips, pivots, exits at angles, and never seems to be where the danger is. Whyte's best hope is to break Itauma's rhythm early, drag him into the late rounds, and hope the inexperience starts to show. Because, let's face it, no one's ever seen Itauma uncomfortable for more than about 30 seconds. But wait, maybe Whyte's got a secret weapon, the mental warfare. No, not trash talk. Itauma seems immune to that, but subtle psychological pressure. Whyte's reputation as a hard-nosed, relentless pressure fighter can wear on a young, unbeaten star who's used to having things his way. If Whyte can stay in Itauma's chest, force him to fight at uncomfortable ranges, and crucially, not get knocked into another time zone in the process, he might just plant the seeds of doubt. Boxing history is littered with upsets where the hot new favorite was dragged into the mud and left wondering whether being called the next big thing is as fun as it sounds. Of course, this all assumes Whyte is 100% healthy and focused. A big ask, considering recent layoffs and injuries. His legendary chin has shown cracks, and explosive combinations from Itauma could be a recipe for disaster, or as it's known in the business, the end of the bout and the beginning of a meme. But if Whyte's conditioning holds, his heart, never in doubt, could drag him to moments of drama from which only the truly daring emerge victorious. Let's not gloss over Itauma's weaknesses. The kid is young, fresh, and perhaps a little too eager to prove he belongs in the heavyweight pantheon. If Whyte can survive the early artillery, rough up the youngster, land some stiff shots to the body, and steer the chaos, he could start finding cracks in the armor. And hey, if you need a laugh, imagine the post-fight interview. Whyte, battered but grinning, declares, "I told you all, age is just a number. Moses can part the sea, but he couldn't part my defense." Okay, maybe not, but in boxing, stranger things have happened. So who has the edge? Itauma is the thoroughbred with more hype than a summer blockbuster. But Whyte is the wily veteran, the king of reinvention, the guy who just might write his own ending. If Dillian Whyte can keep his wits, make it ugly, and turn a boxing match into a battle of attrition, he has a chance. It's a slim chance, like trying to find a vegan option at a Texas barbecue, but a chance nonetheless. There you have it, Heavy Jabs fans, the ultimate crossroads fight. Moses Itauma is the favored prodigy, looking to announce himself as the unavoidable future. Dillian Whyte is the roadblock, with a PhD in upsets standing in his path. Will youth and speed prevail, or will experience and gritty cunning expose the next generation's flaws? August 16th, Riyadh, it's Judgment Day, and we'll all be here for the fireworks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Heavy Jabs for all the inside coverage, wild predictions, and the kind of wit you won't find in the commentary box. Who do you think takes the crown? Can Whyte snatch glory from the jaws of inevitability? Or is Itauma's rise simply unstoppable? Hit us up in the comments. We want your takes, your wildest predictions, and of course, your subscription. Until next time, keep your guard up, your chin down, and remember, in the heavyweight division, anything can happen, but only one man leaves with his head held high. Stay sharp, stay tuned, and we'll see you ringside.